And we're back. Man, we're getting ready for some information on title update 12. A lot of things to go ahead and discuss. This is just one of those moments where you just hit a wall. Kalika-lika-la. Now, I'm just going to jump into it. You already know the whole thing about subscribing or whatnot, but I'm just going to jump into it, right? I started this video with the full intent to just kind of go over what I would like from title update 12, which is, I think, technically 1.12. I think we talk about 12, but it's really like 1.12. And so on a piece of paper, I'm writing, shout outs to the clan. We've got two. You're looking for a great group of guys. We're not perfect. We're dysfunctional, just like them all. But here we are on the board, grinding out. We're an XP clan. Do a little bit of XPN and raids and PvP and PvE. We're just a little bit of everything. Hit us up. We got two. We got the Rogue Little right there, and then we got another one, Rogue Little 2, and there you go. And that is the other clan as well. Give or take what your skill place. And we got a Discord. I might be able to put that up on another video, but anyways, let's keep it going. I wrote down on a piece of paper just some ideas, and man, when I got through this piece of paper, it's actually two sides, right? You'll probably hear me flip from side to side. I'm just gonna start shooting stuff out, right? Title update 12. I need it to be big. You need it to be big. We, the community, need it to be big. And I understand there's a pandemic going on. I understand that's affecting things like time to do voiceover, mocap, just coming into the studio, and just the way of life is changing. The developing teams aren't doing their norm. They're not working where they normally would work with the same resources. And I understand it, okay? It's a very interesting job that we don't understand the full intricacies of how it works. But point blank, man, we really need this to be big. This is probably probably the game that I choose to play whenever I turn on my system or the PC or whatever the case is. And what I mean by we need it to be big is you let me know in the comments if I'm wrong and what the moment is. What is the update that is the same update or that same feeling is 1.7 or 1.8 with the first division? Remember 1.7 hit the kind of put the groundworks of what was going on, and then 1.8 got it just where everybody was like, this is what you need to be playing. And obviously there's some other updates that kind of maybe took that shine away from it, but point blank, it was almost like, where were you when 1.8 went live? Where's that moment right now with the division as we get ready for the state of the game that's coming out? And the state of the game, in my opinion, and that'll probably be another video, but in summary, they've got to change up the tempo and how they do that. It should, in my opinion, it should be 100% edited. It shouldn't be live. It should for sure be an hour and 30 minutes, because I feel like you're giving us concepts, you're showing us artwork, cosplay, all that's great. Conversation with the dev, you guys can even add to the stream of it. And then you need to be busting out Q&As and just kind of taking, hey, okay, so what's the problem here? What's the feedback we can get from? And when I say feedback, I do understand that the devs in any game are saying, hey, listen, stop telling us online and Reddit and all the other stuff. They say, hey, look, I want your opinion. But I believe what they're saying is stop telling us what we should add to the game. The game is what the game is. Any game you want to think of, right? Give us feedback on how you're playing the game and what's your experience. And that is what we need to do what we're doing. So let me get back on track, right? The Division 2 is out now. And I don't know where this series is going. Now, is it going to number 3? Yes. I've done another video, and the video says, hey, listen, there will be a Division 3. And I also think there'll be an expansion before the third one, but there will be a Division 3, 100%. And Division 1 and 2 is not dead, because if you're playing on the weekends, a lot of times I jump on Division 1 if I'm feeling frisky, and there's new agents who are playing this game who aren't being carried or whatnot, and they like the expansions on Division 1 and their global event. They've got one going on right now. And then Division 2, you got new agents who've never been to New York on the expansion, and they're doing it now with the different pricing situation. So the Division game isn't dead. They've got something special. They know it. We know it. Put the IV in our arm. But let's just go through some of the updates. Mind you, I just wanted to go over like 5 or 7 things, right? But here we are. I'm glad you stuck around. Keep sticking around. I got something for you, right? Point 2, right? So title update 2 gave us Tidal Basin, right? And it gave us World Tier 5. I'm not gonna lie, that was one of the best times of the game, wasn't it? You went through the storyline, which was, I mean, this game is always given a really good storyline. You went through the storyline, you knocked it out, and then right when you thought you were kind of hitting a wall, title update 2 came out, and then you got the World Tier 5, and then you got the Tidal Basin. So they knocked down your sandcastle, and you're building it all over again with new contents to play PvE, right? You were hyped about it. And I'm only going to go over updates that had, to me, significant value. Then title update 3, you dropped the raid. So we had the first raid at the airport. That was our Operation Dark Horse, if I'm correct. Knocked out the raid, got the Eagle Bearer. Clans grind, and they'll get you through it if you need a clan. You want to play with someone, you, like I said in front of the video. Then you had title update 8, which gave us the New York expansion, which if you go back to some of the conversations at E3 and little meetings, it seemed like they were sitting on this from the beginning of the game coming out. So that's released. Then you have title update 10 that gave you a new raid, Iron Horse, right? Isn't that what it's called? And we got new gear. Fast forward to now, we got the Summit, which needed another kind of once over patch to get it kind of where they go, but the Summit, transmods, and the gears, right? So that's where we're at there on that timeline. I'm just gonna go through everything I wrote thinking about title update 12. And you let me know if in the comments if this is what you want. I think in title update 12. So we'll start this here, the 7-minute mark. Title update 12 needs to have a loot 3.0. We have to get away from this rainbow loot. We have to get away from this purple loot. We have to have the loot have quantity, quality, and meaning. Not everyone has time to run these missions, and you'll hear me say it again, these same missions over and over again, where your time isn't valued, or you're not just being rewarded in a system that's like a got you system, which is fine with it. You know the feeling you get when you're in the dark zone and you're looking for, you know, some yaw gear, and it finally drops for you and you're able to extract it out with your life being intact? Or when you're running a mission with some friends or just random people online, and then that item drops or drops for someone else and they give it to you? We're not getting those moments as much as we've done whenever there's like an update. You know, sometimes you get an update and for some reason for like maybe, I don't know, a week, the loot is popping, and then all of a sudden it just drops off. In this update, which I thought we were going to get, we didn't get the loot increase or buff. What it seemed like they were throwing harder grenades, and the NPCs were like on a whole nother level, as if like, hey, don't get too cocky, don't feel too powerful, we'll check you every now and then. But yeah, I would say loot 3.0. What is loot 3.0? And we need a loot 3.0. That's probably the biggest thing. Even if you said title update 12 was just the loot, I think people would significantly, if the proof is in the pudding, would love another look at what we're doing with loot. And that goes in even with the stash box, having a bigger stash. And I get it, they're talking about the complications that they're going to get from it, but the feedback, I'm trying to think about what the devs are saying, they're cool people. The feedback is that because the loot is what it is now, because of purple gears, because it's kind of hard to, even with your, think about mods on something. If I'm trying to do armor regen, right? I'm running around for armor regen, and then you pick up a bunch of mods, and then you don't remember what you have. So you have to store it all, go back to base of operation, and you're going, literally, you're going back and forth from the stash box, right, to the table and back, because you can't remember, or you're going through your process. You're writing it down on a piece of paper. Maybe that's just me. You're writing it down on a piece of paper, so you're cleaning out your gear. It takes you hours to clean out your gear. Or what about the other scenario, right? I've saved up before 20 or multiple characters, almost what feels like 60 plus caches, right? And then you're like, you know, I got nothing to do with time. Let me just go ahead and just open them. I got to get something good, right? It's like a loot box without spending money. And then you're like, man, this is what I got? You do the exotic project, right? Every week or every reset, you do the exotic project only to what? Break it down so you can get the exotic piece. That's a problem with the loot, right? The other thing is the armor 2.0. Let's do our armor 2.0. I don't have the answers of what our armor 2.0 look like, right? But the armor, dude, we're getting lasered. I know what you're saying, but yeah, but those legendary, man, even heroics, man, they hit those grenades. They hit, man. They throw it. It doesn't matter if you're one shot kill the grenader. They're throwing it like Dan Marino, quick release, and it's right there in your face. Boom. Kalika-lika-low, right? But I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about reds are just, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. I played over 70 days of game time in this, right? That's just on the system. That's not even on PC, which is significantly less. But come on, man. Come on. The reds are just shredding me. Okay, more. Let's go softer, right? More apparel. The feedback I have is I feel like, remember when the game first started and you were scavenging for materials? So you're doing your farming for mats, and then you would find apparel. And it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was a cool feeling because you're like, I'm gonna wear this. No, I'm gonna put this on. Oh no, this is cool. Oh man, my friends got this. Let me get this. And then for some reason, it just stopped. Remember there was a place, I can't remember off the top of my head, but there was a place on the map that you would go and there'd be luggages everywhere and everybody knew that's the spot. If you're trying to get some apparel, that's the spot. Remember we were running around shooting crates for dye? What happened? What happened to that? I'm fine with title update 12, getting back to the basics, right? Gear balance. There's got to be a balance of gear. I get it. Sometimes they'll take a percentage or a second and they'll move this up or this down, or they'll move the talents from, you know, the face to the chest to the book bag and then off the knee pads. Okay, all right, that is a type of balance. What I mean by the gear and the weapon balance is, I mean, can we just get rid of it? Like, you got games like Fortnite and Destiny, right? And what they do is they take a game or a gun and they shelve it. I don't remember what I can't remember what Fortnite calls it, but I think the ham sandwich, Destiny calls it sunsetting. It's basically taking a game, not a game, a gun or a gear, a piece of item, your inventory. For whatever reason, they take that item and they put it away in Neverland. And it doesn't matter. It could be an item that everyone loved that was just too OP, like shotguns in the dark zone. I'm not saying do it to that, but I'm just giving an example. Or it could be an item like a chess piece where like it just, the talent wasn't working. Nobody was playing with it. It was throwing off the synergy. And if we get rid of it, we can focus more to make sure other stuff works the way it needs to. I don't think anyone has a problem with that. Or if you do it where, and I want to do a video on, you know, Division 3 at some point, but what if the seasons were weapons that haven't come out yet? So if we're talking about, I don't know, the Glock 19, the Glock 45X, they're not going to use a name for licensing reasons, but you'll get the look of the game. You know what I'm talking about, but you're talking about that gun, and that gun comes out season 2. So if you're on season 1 and you missed it, then you haven't got there yet. You got something to look forward to. Or, you know, certain game like guns, I just feel like, man, I can go into that more, but I'm trying to get through this whole list. I thought this video was going to be short and it's not. And if you're still sticking with me, man, I appreciate it. I really do. I really do. So I'm going to continue. The next one will be the UB Connect. You know, the last part of October they came out with the UB Connect, and the UB Connect basically was next gen games moving forward are going to be able to do cross save, or games that basically just came out recently, like your Valhalla game and your Watchdog, and those games are going to cross save. And that's awesome. That's next gen. That's nice. That's awesome. And there was confusion on whether or not the division's going to do it. And I believe the second division will do it. The third, my bad, but not the first. I don't think the infrastructure is set up. I think with things going on in the world, and they've got other things on their plate as a team, a big global team. Okay, let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about it so no one's confused on what's happening. People are still trying to figure out what's going to happen with the Division 2 if you bought it or move over and, you know, on PlayStation 5. And for what I heard is if you have it on PlayStation 5, you get the loading and that's about it. You're not getting better graphics. I don't know if it bumps it to be like an ultra PC, because that's a thing you'll have where some of the games don't have any next gen features, but it is running like an ultra PC. Like I think Days Gone just revealed that they're going to run at 60 frames per second. Fortnite's running at 120 frames per second, and no conversation about it. Let's talk about it. I get you can't put this stuff in the game, but we can't talk about it. I mean, title update 12 could be just communication. Hey guys, welcome to State of the Game. We're gonna do something crazy. We're gonna show you the roadmap that we had talked about before, and we're gonna communicate a whole lot more into these gaps in between. Let me just sidetrack for a second, right? Or for a bit. We're in season 3, right? In season 3, which is the September part of it, is you have us going against the BTSU leader. Okay, we find out he's nobody significant, right? And then we have the summit. Nothing else happens for 60 days. I could be wrong. Let me know in the comment, right? Nothing happens for 60 days. The winners thing, that the whole nightmare storyline, which looks like it's going to be at the college, could have been done during October. Why wasn't that done during Halloween? I don't know, right? Wouldn't it be cool if it was just the hunters running around killing people, and you had to play as a group, and if the hunter grabbed you, then you died, and that's it? But that didn't happen. We've got to wait till winter till we get that. And again, like I said, 60 days, nothing happened on the roadmap they showed us, which we all got hyped. And they're so good at doing that, man. It's the dangling carrot, right? A lot of us were disgruntled. We're still playing the game. Don't get me wrong. It's a love-hate relationship. But as soon as we saw that roadmap, which was only, I think, 4 pictures, right? We're like, yes, whatever you say. But again, nothing happens. 60 days zip, nothing happens. And then we'll get One Eye Willie, who runs away. In my opinion, I think runs away to live another day, the Division 3, right? And then in winter, it just says winter, which could be February or March. And I get March could be spring. It is spring, you know, give or take. But what I'm looking at, the business part of it, is I'm looking at the 4th quarter, right? And I don't mean like sports 4th quarter. I mean business 4th quarter. And then the 1st quarter. So that's February is normally the first part of the business new year, if you will. And let me know if I always say I'm going to look this up, and I never do, but I believe games just fall on the exact same timetable and we just never notice it, right? When I feel like something came, I don't know if it was Coney Island or something, came out in February last year. So I just think it repeats. And mind you, if this game was like hitting all cylinders, I don't think I would have a problem spending $10, $9.99 every 2 months to get the exact same seasons we have. But the season gives us, I guess, exclusive gear, like weapons, or nope. See, if you do that, then you run the risk of being free to play, from free to play, pay to win. But then again, that the Gen Impact game on mobile alone just made $245 million in 1 month. AAA development teams are talking about that, I'm pretty sure, right now. Like, did you see what they did? They made it free to play, and they've made millions. But if you have something, they'll pay for it. Getting sidetracked. Let me get back on it. But if I can continue with the 1st and 2nd quarter, right? 1st and 4th quarter. The reason why that's important to me is Ubisoft, the companies, had issues with, you know, the sexual harassment issues, moving people around apparently to other, you know, locations without dealing with it. You've had head of, you know, whatever game and this and that moved around or let go or fired, or people walking off projects and leaving them before they got a chance to get started for, you know, certain reasons behind closed doors. And you've had games pushed back. Avatar has been pushed back. Far Cry has been pushed back. Rainbow Six Quarantine has been pushed back. There's a hidden title that we don't know about that's been pushed back. Hopefully they're not talking about that pirate game that they basically decided it wasn't going to be the next Sea of Thieves, and they said, hey, look, let's just restart that all over again. But, you know, Watch Dogs is coming out to lukewarm reception right now. Valhalla's getting ready to come out, but it's like they've got to really be reinventing the wheel when it comes to this Division 3, when it comes to what they do left over Division 2. So let's continue through. I'm getting sidetracked because again, this is what I'm going to call the video. I just wanted a few things on title update 12, and I started realizing all the things I want from the division moving forward. They're going to give us the Snowdrop 2.0, which is Snowdrop, I believe, if I'm saying it correct. Snowdrop is the game engine that powers the division 1 and 2. And though some people don't like it, you know, they want different engines, you know, rebuild something completely from another developing team. I don't know the ins and out of how we got where we're at. But they've already said, hey, look, we're already working on this next engine, and this is what it would look like for the characters in this engine, and we're really confident in it. What am I complaining about something I don't know? Like the devs are doing this. I'm not going to be like, well, you know what? It's not like a car where you can click the reviews, or just because you've seen someone drive the car, you know it's going to be right for you. Like, we can't be sitting there saying, you know what, Unreal Engine, I mean, come on, Fortnite, enough said. So they're going to do that, but they're not the only development company, because the team that does Elder Scroll, they've got another game, I can't remember what the game is, Star something. But they're reusing the same engine they've been basically remodeling and using since 1997. And they're just going to retool it up, squeeze out more of it because they know what the I guess the setup of that build is, and they're just going to run that engine on next gen gaming. So I'm not mad at it. It is what it is. Nerf the NPCs. We all know about the grenades. We all know about, you know, certain enemies are just lasering us, which is, you know, probably an issue with some gear and balance. But if you just nerf them a bit, if you just balance the enemy better, that could help. I mean, you don't have to necessarily go in the gears and the talents and the skills and the armor if the enemy we win against was better. And what I mean better, it's better on both sides. Better where it's realistically they're hitting us, and realistically we're hitting them back. Where I get there's going to be some bullet sponging. I get it. It's a part of the game, right? But the other part about it is the AI stuff. You know how many people I sold this game to? And that'd be another video. But man, one of the things I told him from what we talked about in the hype of this game before it launched in March, I think March 19th, that AI will react differently. They're going to come out of different doors. They're going to send you, you know, a heavy and an elite, or the next time 2 heavies. Yes, that does happen. But we pretty much, we know where they're going to respawn at. And I think I don't know if you got to mix up the playing style of some of the factions and the character, but something where the AI is a little different to feel different when we're running the same mission over and over again. I don't mean directives. That's something different. Let's see. More hunters. I mean, with the storyline, no spoiler. They're just, I don't know if that is that for a reason or is that not for a reason. Is title update 12 dealing with hunters? Is there a new game mode coming? A new PvE game mode? What about PvP? I don't go in the dark zone most at all for the most part. That's not my thing. But there's so many people who that is their thing, to the point where they went back to the first division to get that thing, back, if you know what I'm talking about, right? And I'm fine with the new mode being an enhanced PvP, but I just don't see that happening. I see some tweaks and some balances, nothing serious. Though I think PvP should be free to play, and that's for a different discussion another day. Real directives would be cool. I know we got directives now, but we get directives that I want to say it doesn't make it fun. It feels like we're only selecting this stuff for the more XP, because we want more XP so we can level up our watches. We want more XP so we get more caches. We want more XP so we can get through the season to get the blueprints and the items for more loot. You see what I'm saying? We're doing all this stuff because the looting system isn't what we want it to be. I don't think necessarily it's because we're greedy as a community, which is, you know, somewhat true. As soon as they put something out, it could be the most epic expansion, and I'm pretty sure we'll destroy it and say, more please. But real directives would be like, I don't mean like low ammo. I mean like some end of the world stuff. Like you click this button and your book bag only holds 15 items. You can only hold 2 guns. You can't switch your build again until you log off. I'm talking about some like makes it feel like the first division. And I'll get into something like that when I talk about, the Division 3. But again, we're running the same mission. Why not mix it up, right? The weather. We get those crazy sandstorms and stuff. Like, I'll be fine with Division saying, hey, look, title update is going to bring you weather. It's going to get cold. It's going to get hot. But it's not likely. That I think that would be really big on the devs to have to do something like that. And not to mention, here we are going into winter now. We didn't do winter the last seasons that passed. This game's got me rambling, man. Rambling. This is a 25-minute ramble about what I want from the Division. I don't even have enough people subscribed or listening or even knowing this channel exists for me to be talking for 26 minutes. Shepherding, right? I did the shepherding to get to level 25. Now I wanted to do the 99 100 thing, but have you ever shepherded? It's so difficult for no reason, right? Like you go through the shepherding, and as you go through shepherding, you got to have other people like or press a button to endorse you, which doesn't make any sense. It should be a meter, and the meter, as soon as it fills and you do the mission or you kill enough NPCs, whatever the case is, that's it. Level done, the person can leave or they can keep playing with you. But some people will actually use you to finish something and just leave, won't even endorse, which means you wasted your time. Or they'll get you into the base of operations. They won't move. You're sitting there for 10 minutes because you really want to level up. And then you just have to leave. You're trying to text them to get their attention because it's like they're your help for hire. When it should be like a more significant AFK blocking, like, hey, listen, if you don't do a mission in 2 minutes and you're loading into a mission, running the mission, if your controller's not moving, we're going to log you off and still give that agent half of the XP they would have gotten. Another thing, like when you do call for help, just some quality of life stuff, right? Call for help. How many times you see a beacon of help from another agent and you're like, man, where are they at? They're at this part of the map. But what are they doing? What part of the map are they? Like, what I mean by that, like someone's doing Camp Oak and you're at Camp Oak, right? So you take that call for the mission and the same thing happens. They leave or they don't play or whatever the case is. And you just say in your head, man, I was almost at the end of this. Had I known how far this person was on this Kinley College, I wouldn't have joined in. Or someone's asking for help and it says open world activities. Like, what open world activities? Are we running control point? We should be able to like kind of click and say, hey, look, this is what the person needs help with. This is what they're doing. They just need to be revived. They're at a bounty. It's a legendary. You need to bring, they're looking for somebody with a skill bill because they're down. Whatever. Just, and I like the devs. I do. I don't know who they are. I know some of them online and in the forums or whatnot. And devs have a hard job because I'm pretty sure the devs know what's going on. The devs have signed paperwork. They can't talk about what's going on. And the devs or anybody in that, that nucleus that's privy for that information, I'm pretty sure they've got a roadmap that we can't see. Different roadmap versus what goes on for state of the game. Mods need to be cleaned up and easy to use, easy to see. Trans mods. I wrote trans mods on here. Why? I think I just want more gear. Skilled players. I'm pretty sure you agree. You want stuff fixed, right? I'm just rambling at this point. This is so sad. Such a sad moment for me right now. But what about the skills just working the way they're supposed to work, right? The skills just working the way they're supposed to work. The hive is picking you up the way it's supposed to, and the healer hive is hitting you as fast as you need it to, right? The dark zone getting a boost, where you want to go in there, you want to play other than doing landmarks. All right, well, 30 minutes in, and I'm gonna stop it. Man, you've been great. If you made it this far, I wish I could give you a t-shirt. I wish I had a gift card or some sponsorship to give you. I wish I had a code for some game or something I could say, hey, here you go. But I don't. And if you listened this far, I mean, if you really listened this far, let's say you marked it and said, look, I'm gonna listen a little bit every day until it's done. I appreciate you, I really do. I'm gonna try to do another video, 2 videos where I probably clean this up and I don't want to say the exact same thing, but maybe something that's focused on Tile Update 12 and something that is focused on things I would like for the remainder of the division. I don't know, but like I said, I understand the devs are working hard. They're not, for the community, let's be nice to them. Let's give them feedback, okay? We can't be just telling them how to fix stuff, because some of us can't even stop, I don't know, some of us can't even set up a fire stick properly. So, you know, I can't, so I'm just saying. But again, you could have been anywhere in the world and you're here, and I appreciate that. I know your time is valuable. This is by far the longest I've ever gone, but this game does this to me, okay? So I apologize. I'm sorry. Till next time, kalika-lika-lao.